Garfield. Garfield. You know Garfield, right? He hates Mondays and he eats lasagna even though he's a fucking cat, and that's probably not very healthy for him, but he still does it. Garfield made his debut as a comic strip in 1976, but he's also appeared in movies. Most notably the live-action movie with Bill Murray, which Bill Murray himself said publicly that it was his biggest regret in his entire career. And that's true, go ask him. But there was another movie, a CGI movie made in 2007 called Garfield Gets Real. The title Garfield Gets Real sounds like Garfield's about to sit down with you and have a very real and stern talk about how bad your grades are dropping. But aside from the title, let's talk about the actual movie, which... wow. The movie starts with the sun rising and emitting light on Cartoon World, and as the camera pans further down and the light is gradually growing, we see that everything starts to come to life as the sun hits it. Like, houses are bouncing, things inflate in seconds, and this house here just comes to life. It fucking yawns. It's weird to think if people actually live in these houses, because the houses start off really small and then just grow in seconds from the sun's rays. How are people living in these houses? After that, we see these flowers and... For some reason, Garfield's house defies all previous logic with every other house because it just starts at regular size from the get-go. Which begs the question again, how do these houses work? Do the people inside not exist until the sun is up? Like, we saw a car earlier that just popped into existence. Like, do humans do the same thing? Do they pop into existence in their car? Because the car started moving immediately and like... After that existential crisis, the sun peeks into the window and it hits Garfield's eyes, and he is not having it. He closes the blinds, but then just opens up and Garfield screams, which, you know, is the natural reaction to light. Garfield then gets breakfast after his shelves attack him, and John tells us that Garfield works as the lead in a comic strip for Comic Studio. They make their way to the place they work and past this random piano that's just bouncing on the street, and then the superhero dude who John greets, which results in the superhero man hitting a power cable with his neck first. But he is a superhero man, so like he might be fine, but you know, if he isn't invincible, then... I don't care what you say, that man is dead. They make it to the comic studio, which is where we meet the side characters in the story, and there's this couple that is just the definition of a toxic relationship. This fucking boomerang just shits on this poor man.
Walter, please.
Sorry, dear.
Why must you always be fiddling with things? I mean, why can't you just sit quietly like a good husband?
Yes, dear.
In the next scene, Garfield is sitting on the sofa all sad, and Arlene comes along and asks, "What's up?"
I'm just tired of doing the comic strip. Going through the same routine every day. Hearing the same tired jokes every day. Every day. Oh man, a change of scenery would be wonderful. I need a break.
A break from me?
This isn't about you, Arlene, it's about me.
She just blatantly ignores her boyfriend telling her that he needs a vacation, just makes it about her, and then she has the audacity to say,
Do you ever notice it's always about you?
"What a bitch!" Garfield then just gives her a flower and they're all good. Hear that, guys? In a relationship, having an argument, give her a flower. Problem solved. In this world, comic strips are basically like photo shoots with sets and characters as the models, and they deliver their lines for some reason even though comics have speech bubbles, so why do they need to say the lines out loud? Garfield then starts fantasizing about the real world because he sees some hot dogs on a hot dog stand, even though a couple of minutes ago, he was just having sausages and eggs for breakfast. So why can't he just get a hot dog in his own world? So while everyone is laughing at a hot dog stand and Garfield is having wet dreams for hot dogs, Odie is trying to hide his prop bone and makes the decision to open this part of the wall that looks like a poster, and his bone falls through. And that gives Garfield a great idea. To go into the real world when it was just said,
Everybody stay away from the patch in the screen or you'll end up in the real world with no way back, like Odie's bone.
because he wanted hot dogs. The light died. It's been 2 days. So now Garfield and Odie are in the real world, and they meet this cat in a trash can, which takes them to meet the other trash animals. And their way of getting food is to annoy the people living in the buildings around them and get them to throw food at them. But the question is, why do they have a full leg of ham, a hamburger, and just a big fish in their bedroom? Like, was that really their midnight snack that they were so willing to just throw out a window? Like, did they really not just have any expired food or anything but a full leg of ham to waste? So now that they're done eating a full leg of ham, they go into this abandoned building and sleep there. They wake up and go to a contest that is trying to find a replacement for Garfield since he's just gone. And these fucking muscular cat and dog walk in, and the judges decide that if Garfield doesn't show up in the comic world in the next 24 hours, then these muscular cat and dog replace them. After that, they're walking in the park and they see this woman playing the pump organ, and Garfield gets an idea to make a big pump organ with doors that they can use to travel back to the cartoon world. And while getting the materials they need to make the big pump organ, they take these foldable doors, but there's this guy taking a bath, and I kid you not, he fucking drowns himself. Like, he just goes underwater and just starts exhausting all of his oxygen as quickly as possible. Garfield and Odie go back to the abandoned building, but this time the muscular fox are following them, or at least cardboard cutouts of them, because they are completely still until they attack Garfield and Odie. They light a candle to mock them, and of course, the candle falls over and starts burning the building, and since they're going to die, they rush to complete the machine. And they make their way into the real world and save them. And then the movie ends in the way every kid's movie ends for some reason, with a dance party with alive instruments. And that's the end of Garfield Gets Real. It's a shame that it didn't have any parts where Garfield got real with anyone, so that's quite disappointing. For the longest time, this movie was just this weird fever dream of a memory in my head, which just didn't make any sense, and it still doesn't. This movie is weird. It is a completely different beast when you actually sit down and watch this thing. There's so much weird nonsense that happened in this movie that I didn't put in this video because my brain just couldn't conjure up anything to say about it other than, huh, that's weird. But anyways, thank you for watching. This was my first attempt of making a video like this, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, you could subscribe, or like, or comment a funny, or just do whatever you want. Do whatever feels right. Alright, see ya.